Welcome. I hope you enjoy the conversation you're about to see between me and another comedian about religion and comedy. These are conversations I'm calling Disorganized Religion. God bless. And for those atheists out there, may nothing await you after this life.
Hey, welcome. This is the first ever Disorganized Religion podcast episode.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here with Travis Clyburn, my guest for today. Very excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be your first guest.
Yeah, this is good. In the
That's
filmed
awesome.
version.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm Seth Lawrence. I'm your host today and forever on this podcast.
For all time.
So we're going to talk about comedy. We're going to talk about Travis Clyburn, his history in comedy, what he's done with his life so far, and then his relationship with religion or not, depending on what we find out.
A little bit above.
Yeah, nice. So how long you been doing this comedy thing, Travis?
In June 23rd, it'll be 10 years.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
And where'd you start?
Started at Wiley's Comedy Club in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And you moved to L.A., or how long did you do it out there in Dayton?
I did it out there until 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I started in 2009 and did it to 2013. And then moved out here for the first time for about 8 months.
Oh, okay.
And
then
then-
moved back?
Unfortunately.
Why
Yeah.
did you move back? You just
I
quit? Or
I
you're
got
like,
trapped. It's a bit of an arcing story, but it's a couple things happened. One thing, I had left a car in Ohio because it's one of those things where I had a job lined up with Joe Manente,
Okay,
the man
yeah.
who owns this place.
Yeah.
I was going to work for his moving company, and I had to be in this particular apartment by this time. So I had the ticket bought, all that stuff, and then the buyer for my car dropped out.
Oh.
So I was just going to sell my fucking car. Have
So
some
you
extra
couldn't
money
finance the rest of it, or
no, I just left it in my
Okay.
car in my hands. I had the money, but I needed the extra money probably for later. right?
Sure.
So I left it in my dad's hands to sell and stuff like that.
What car
It
was it?
It was a HHR.
An HHR.
Yeah, one of those PT Cruiser ripoffs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the story behind that is the guy who made the PT Cruiser got fired, and then he went to Chevy and he made the HHR
No
as
kidding.
a fuck you car.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, literally, it
Nice.
just jumped ship and just went. And
Yeah.
then made a
And you
different
saw
version.
it, and you're like, I need that.
Yeah, and plus it's the hillbilly hot rod is what people would call it.
Oh.
I used it for road gigs and stuff because you could sleep in the back,
Gotcha.
but it was like the most fuel efficient version of a Sleepy Becky car.
Oh, okay.
That makes any sense.
All right. Yeah. Did you have an air mattress you put? Like how big?
The
No,
back was actually
just
pretty
comfy.
big because they actually make panel van versions of the HHR. 'Cause It's
Gotcha.
a longer car.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous.
Like a hearse, I bet.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just slept in the back like a body, basically, like a short hearse.
Nice.
Not
All right.
comfortably, but.
Well, sure.
But yeah, then I was left in charge with my dad. At the time, my dad was going through things, and he ended up never selling the car. And then I had to come back just for a week to sell the car.
Okay.
And when I got back, it got repossessed, and
not sold?
clearly.
Oh,
And then
Why did it get was it parked badly? I don't
no,
understand.
he
why
just
it
wasn't making payments on it.
Oh,
like-
and so
yeah,
they came and took it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. So then I got trapped.
Got it. So you were out there then again.
Yes, unfortunately, I was out there for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Virginia Beach, Virginia, with my little brother, who's in the Air Force.
Okay.
And then I moved back out here in 2016.
Gotcha. And you've been
Yeah.
here ever since.
Yeah.
And that was after Joe switched from moving company to.
Yeah, actually, I worked for
Comedy
Joe for, because this place opened, actually, I moved back here, January 2017. And he opened this place August 2016.
Gotcha.
So this place had been kind of happening
Yeah.
slowly but surely
Yeah.
when I got back.
Yeah.
And he still had the moving company. I still worked for him for a bit when I came back. And then he
Okay.
sold it to this Italian dude named Gianluca Manzola.
And you have to say it that way.
Yeah, because he
Part
was
of the
he was
contract.
from south of Italy.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure he had mob affiliations. He was that kind of
Oh,
Italian.
nice.
Yeah.
Real Italian.
Yeah, and
Cool.
real terrible at running a moving company.
So
And
that went under real quick?
After a year. It lasted a year.
Well, it was just a front.
Probably.
They were probably only dealing in cash.
Mainly, yeah.
Laundering
yeah, he was like, I
funds.
don't want to use the Venmo. Like, it was... Like he's trying to keep everything
Cash
off the
only,
books.
please.
Only the cash. I have to pay my employees in the cash and pigeons.
So when Joe interviewed you first for the moving job, was he like, do you also dabble in stand-up? Because
Actually, the first
this is a
person I
transition
met,
I'm thinking about making.
No, the first person, Joe. He's been doing it 7 years now, I think.
Yeah.
But no, he He was the first LA person I met.
Oh,
like
no
my
kidding.
buddy from Ohio who lived as an actor out here picked me up from the airport and just dropped me off at Joe's because he also worked for Joe's Moving Company.
Gotcha.
And then we talked till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
about comedy and working out mainly. That's all me and Joe talk about.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yes, and then
Cool.
we just found out we both do stand-up, and then he took me to my first open mic at Hollywood Hotel.
Oh, gosh.
Which
Is it still the same room, or did they
no,
renovate
it's
it?
a different room, but
Yeah.
it's equal. It's still shit.
Yeah.
Hollywood Hotel mic has never been good.
Yeah. So it's a tough. I don't know. I've only been there once, but it was a terrible.
Yeah,
room.
We literally only went there once back in 2013,
Yeah.
and then like after the mic, because it was like it's a lot of hipsters,
Sure.
but like they'd only all been doing it like a year or two,
Yeah.
and all of them were just talking about how badly their careers are going.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck you, you've only been doing.
And
don't
it
have
should
a
be
cr-
going poorly.
I know at the time
know?
I'd been doing comedy
Yeah.
almost 5 fucking years. So I
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
Like, don't
Why
you
am I
talk
here?
to
Why
me.
am I here?
Yeah.
These people. Yeah, and the setup of the room, at least the way they have it now, is very long. So
Yeah.
typically what you want out of a comedy room is deep or
Yeah.
tight, right? Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a box with low ceilings,
But
everything
they
very close.
Do they do it in that big like ballroom looking thing? The real long
No,
one?
it's down. Now it's like downstairs in a little bar area.
Oh shit! So they moved it back to the original place.
I
then.
think so.
And yeah, that'd be the same one. A really
Okay.
deep, but the bar's at the very end.
Very back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the stage in the middle of the room.
Oh,
so
no,
you
wow,
basically
they had
are.
it at the end before.
Yeah, now they have it in the middle. So
That's
you like have to
terrible.
play to your left and right. There's no one in front of you.
That's awful.
So you're constantly like, "Hey, how's this side of the room doing? You guys didn't get that
I know.
joke."
That sucks. Because at least
terrible.
at the like Ice House second stage is like that, but like there's always people in the front first.
Always. Yeah,
So you
yeah, yeah.
play
It's
to
a little
around.
deeper on the side,
Oh,
but you're more yeah. I don't know. The seconds and the open mic that's run there
yeah.
is fun. They do a fun one.
I've actually never done that open.
Oh,
mic.
you haven't?
I just got lucky, and
Yeah.
Dad Fan will put me on shows there.
Oh yeah. That fan.
That's fine.
That guy. He's back in town right here.
Mhm, yeah.
Anyhow, all right. We're talking about comedy, so I guess we're half on topic.
Yeah.
So
Good.
okay, I started getting crackles in my ears.
Yeah. The
Did you get that too?
The cord's loose.
You guys didn't get that, but I did.
That's for our headphones.
So all right. So let's talk about what's been like a proud moment, the proudest moment in comedy for you so far, or a couple, if there's not just one.
Proudest moment of comedy so far. Probably the week I did in El Paso was probably the coolest thing I'd ever
Was
done.
that just recently that
yeah,
you were out
it
there?
wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We did 6 shows in El Paso.
And this is your musical comedy troupe?
Yeah.
And you guys also did stand-up out there?
Yeah, so it's like I'd open do 15, then 30 minutes for Amir Khalil and Chris Rubio.
Yeah.
And then we'd end, like, we just happened to one day start fucking around on the live stream and playing music.
Yeah.
And then
You guys do here, right?
yeah,
Out of the
we do
fourth
literally
wall.
right here.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it just turned into,
A road gig.
yeah, like
That's cool.
somehow or another, like it just turned into some kind of magical fucking experience. Like I don't know how it worked that way, but it just did.
Yeah.
And also it's 'cause-
Organic.
Yeah, it was nice. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird sometimes when you do comedy, like, especially if you try to like put a bunch of different things in the fire and stuff.
Right.
Like, which one starts to burn? You know. Like,
Yeah.
It's. I just had no idea that one would
That
be.
we could go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea. Like, it was just something we were doing to fuck around.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's got to feel good that something that you're just like, hey.
Yeah, and I was
this-
just proud of how well we did.
Yeah.
Considering like the first show we did there Thursday was only the second time we'd ever done the show live. The first time we ever did it live was Tuesday before we left here.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
To a packed house?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, we were just like, hey, it's the first time we've done this live. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's so cool.
What about you? What's your proudest comedy moment so far?
Oh gosh, man, I've only been doing comedy for a year and like 3 months. I started in
Right.
January.
Have you had any moments where you're like, this is dope? I should do this always.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. The first time that I really did, this is gonna sound so lame, but it was for a law school talent show.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing?
that is fascinating.
So most law schools in the country have a law school review, a
Right.
journal that they publish called
Right.
whatever the law school is, Law Review.
Okay.
It's like the prestigious
right.
journal for the law school. But they also, a lot of law schools will have the Law Review spelled REVUE. which is like a comedy talent show, a variety show.
Oh, okay.
And they do that every year.
Yeah.
Each law school has its own. If they have it, they'll have their own. Right?
Yeah.
So ours did it. I went to UNC, and I did stand up there to a bunch of lawyer wannabes, and
really?
it went really well.
Oh, that's awesome.
And,
So that was your first time ever, right?
Doing like a show. It was not my first time doing stand up.
Yeah.
But it was like second or third.
But first, like show.
But like I had written out, I'd prepared a lot.
That's
So
awesome.
I had like jokes written out, and it was fun. It was fun. But when you have an inside crowd and you know all the inside
That is
jokes
true.
that you've been making with people for a year or two,
Yeah.
it does make it a little bit easier.
That's true, and that's why like a lot of the tricks road dogs use is they get to the talent day early and go to the bars and just talk to people.
Sure.
And so they can make inside references.
Oh,
and shit
interesting.
Like that. Yeah, like that's the best way to fucking
Yeah, little chameleons.
figure out
running
what town this town hates and
Right.
shit like that, right?
The bad parts of town, the good parts of
yeah.
town.
So you can like speckle in those jokes.
Yeah,
like, it's
I'll
kinda,
tell you, I've been in LA now for almost 2 years, and I still have no idea.
I don't
Like
either.
I know Silver Lake, right, is full of hipsters.
Yes,
but
and
like
then, also Van Nuys, everyone likes to make fun of.
right,
That's about it.
Right, that's about it.
Which is over there.
And apparently, Topanga Canyon has nudies, like
Oh,
hippie,
nudists?
hippie.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, which
That's where the nudist colonies.
I now
are in the
realize
hills.
is a total inside joke because
Yeah.
of Boy Meets World.
Oh,
And
really?
Topanga, who was sort of a hippie. Did you ever watch that show?
Not really.
All right. Well, we're digressing.
Sorry.
Into what I find interesting, other than comedy and
I didn't know
religion.
you were such
Anyhow,
a Boy Meets World fan.
I actually really like the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
that-
did not watch that much.
And SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob.
I'm a big SpongeBob. I
SquarePants.
like Weekend SpongeBob.
Oh, all right.
I know a lot of
That'll be
SpongeBob.
another next edition of
We're just gonna talk about SpongeBob for
the
an
next
hour.
podcast. All right, so let's talk about since I answered your question so well, let's talk about your relationship with the divine, okay?
yeah.
And how you merge that, because I've seen your act, at least
Yeah.
some parts of your act,
Yeah.
a few times now, which I love.
Thank you.
But you talk a lot about your Pentecostal history.
Yeah, because it's I wasn't raised very strictly Pentecostal. It was more a lot of the stories I use in my act come from really my mom's experience.
Yeah.
Because it's
And her family.
yeah,
right?
and her family is Pentecostal as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
my God. Like, if you don't know any reference to what Pentecostal is for the people listening, like,
Right.
a lot of them have like very arbitrary rules that really don't make any sense in religious context. Like, they have to wear long jean jacket skirts, or long jean skirts, I should
Okay.
say, and they can't cut their hair. So they just ever.
So these aren't
They just look like-
polygamists that we're seeing. These
No,
are
this-
potentially Pentecostals.
Yes, yeah, that's a Pentecostal thing. It's
And you don't know the reasoning behind that?
I honestly don't.
Interesting.
No one ever gave me a logical reason. A lot of Pentecostal.
Well, did they give you illogical reasons?
No.
So no reasons at all.
No reasons at all. I know, because
Just the way God wants us.
yes,
Yeah.
literally,
okay.
like that's actually a good way to phrase that, because
Yeah.
literally most of the logic that was given to me is don't question God, but really it's don't question some fucking guy named Steve,
Right, the pastor
runs-
or whatever.
Yeah.
What do they call them?
Ministers,
Pastors?
they're pastors.
Okay.
I think pastors more Baptist, but like,
Right.
because I grew up with a
That's why I
pastor who was
asked.
actually a nice dude.
Yeah.
Minister might be another way to say it. I can't
Shepherd?
remember their.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, what religious word could we
This
use?
is what do Mormons use? Or sorry, Church
Bishops.
of Latter-day.
So the
thanks.
leaders of our congregations are called bishops.
Oh, bishops.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a better name.
Yeah, it's a chess piece.
That's,
So-
yeah.
or a Catholic
Couldn't-
piece, because you have
do they
Catholic
move
bishops
diagonal?
too. Yeah, the diagonals, the tall pointy
nipples?
hat
The
ones.
nipples.
Yeah, there you go.
Their church is ran by nipples.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Mormons, LDS.
Why is Mormons a slur, by the way?
It's slur nickname. I don't know. So we believe in the Book of Mormon
Oh, right.
as
okay.
another testament of Jesus Christ. That's why a lot of people call us Mormons.
Okay, but technically you're not. Mormon isn't the name of the religion, technically.
No. Right.
Okay,
Right.
interesting.
And we've had a couple different iterations, or I guess pushes from the general leadership of our church to say, stop.
Which is based in
Stop
Utah, correct?
using. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop using the name Mormon. Because
Interesting.
we want people to understand that we're Christian. We believe in Christ. So
Right, because I think that's also, it seems to be a political move, too, because you got like your Mitt Romneys and stuff who
who we want to disassociate with?
No,
What do
no,
you mean?
more.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people were confused in the Republican primaries forever ago.
Right, and
that
still are
Mormon
confused.
is Christian.
That it's not, or that it is?
That
Yeah,
is.
it is. Right.
Yeah, like a
right.
lot of people would he's a Mormon.
Yeah.
I was like,
so he
it's
believes
like,
in
they say
the
it in
devil.
the same undertones of like, he's a
a
Muslim.
pedophile.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They just
yeah.
don't know what the fuck that means.
No, I agree. Well, I think there's a lot, and I don't know, but I think there are a lot of other Christian religions that feel threatened for whatever reason by other religions, regardless of what they are.
Oh, for sure. And I know, I just thought it was so, like, Pentecostals hate Catholics.
Oh, why is that?
I don't know, man.
Or was
like,
that just
it's
your
the
mom?
same amount
She's
of
like,
shame.
I hate Catholics.
My well, a lot of things, in my opinion, trace back to Klan shit.
Oh,
And I literally mean, like,
interesting.
like a lot of Pentecostals.
DKKK.
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah.
Like, I literally had I'm sorry, I just murdered an ant.
Unbelievable. PETA will be writing a letter.
He's gone.
Do ants have souls? That's the next question.
I don't think people have souls.
Wow.
And
Really?
I'm that deep into not believing in anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I want to get there.
Yeah. But Pentecostals and like, I have a great uncle. He's not a great guy. He's just
the relationship.
My grandpa. Yeah.
Such a subliminal.
I know, right?
Yeah. No,
great,
they are
great grandfather.
Yeah, because
what if he was a shit grandfather? Never understood that fucking terminology.
I love it. Yeah.
But he was a grand cyclops in the KKK.
I didn't realize that was a title.
Yeah,
I knew wizards, but
wizard, grand dragon, wizard, cyclops. Very D&D.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does D&D get the bad? I mean, I know the KKK has a bad name.
I don't know exactly how they figured out that terminology or why.
Why would they pick that?
I know, or maybe wizard's the highest. I can't remember.
Yeah,
because wizards could control dragons. If we want to use that.
To be honest,
logic.
I'd be a little bit worried if you did know the intricacies of the KKK. So we'll leave it at that.
I thought about looking it up, and then I'm like, I'll just ask my family
because they're Cyclopses.
Yeah, and like he got his karma though, and again, I don't necessarily believe in karma, but he did get properly fucked in his eyes. In
a bad way.
Yes, he had a daughter who had 3 beautiful daughters, who all 3 of them married black doctors.
Beautiful.
And when he died alone and miserable, not speaking to his own grandkids.
Wow.
And that makes me happy
because of his racism.
Yeah, literally because of his racism.
That's amazing.
He had no reason to. These 3, I met all 3 of the guys. They're all 3 amazing.
Of course
humans.
they are.
Had no reason to hate them.
And good for his daughters.
And also, it's not like they married fucking gangbangers. But gangbangers can be white or Hispanic. They can be any race.
Yeah.
These are great humans.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't talk to his own grandkids.
That's crazy. I mean, good for his daughters, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
Well, I mean, that's what Louisville, Kentucky. Like, it's... Sorry, I had a... Guys getting back at me real quick.
Bless you. Bless you.
Also, I should clean this studio. For being honest, it's very dusty. This is my fault.
No, I love it. We're here at the 4th Wall in North Hollywood.
Dusty place.
All right, so I want to get to what you believe. So you were raised Pentecostal?
I was raised technically Baptist, but had a lot of early childhood Pentecostal experiences. So like I've been to revivals and stuff,
where
they like heal people with Jesus hands and whatnot. Like,
so why the two influences?
It was
mom and dad.
It was mom and dad actually. Like, I don't know that my dad ever. He's pretty much an agnostic at this point. He just he didn't care that much. Like, he just had better things to do, I suppose. And like never had. And like my grandfather is actually my grandfather and dad both technically a Christian in the sense that they're Freemasons. So they were part of that, which is a religious fraternity.
Yeah. Very connected to Mormonism, actually.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of offshoots there, and a lot of like it's because like my grandfather wears his Scottish rite ring. Yeah, which is like
I guess I shouldn't say very connected. There's some ties.
Yeah, because I mean a lot of Mormons are Freemasons as well.
Yeah, the ones like Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. Yeah,
especially Brigham Young. Wasn't he deep? Deep.
Yeah, I think they both pretty were.
Knew the all the secrets and stuff. Which a lot of people, like the moment you educate yourself on what Freemasons are, you realize the Illuminati shit's really dumb. Like really dumb.
Like made up dumb, or what do you mean?
No, it literally there was an organization.
Like it cannot be.
Illuminati literally means to illuminate, to shed light with science. Like that's what the Illuminati was.
Right.
And it was demonized by early Masons because science goes against religious belief.
Interesting.
And then it became integrated once the Freemasons and people of
the Illuminati faith.
Yeah,
or
like basically
thought.
they went, okay, well I guess science is fine and isn't a slight against God.
Sure, we'll use it all.
Yeah, and then they
Uh-huh.
became better Masons because they use science.
And now they run everything.
Yeah,
Is that why it's dumb?
allegedly.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Why is it dumb?
It's dumb because people like say the word Illuminati as if it's
Right.
this secret organization
Right.
running things, when
Right.
really all it was, it has a negative connotation because of
the religious
stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because they were usually atheists and stuff like that,
Right.
who were just saying, "Hey, don't sacrifice that goat. It's
Right.
dumb. Don't do that."
we could.
And then
eat
people
it.
were like, "We need it
yeah,
for God."
Yeah.
And the guy's
He
like,
wants it.
probably doesn't want that.
yeah.
Why do you think he wants that?
He said he did.
Yeah, it's like he never did.
And it's a very old book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the Old Testament, that's some Old Testament shit.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I feel like the Illuminati. It was like, well, the New Testament, in my opinion, kind of like made a lot of the Old Testament stuff. Like, okay, maybe you can wear polyester and you won't get stoned to death. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then the Illuminati was just like another section of the book where it's like, hey,
Science is cool too.
you could do that too, man.
Gotcha.
Just because I know how to level a stone with a bubble and a compass just doesn't mean I'm the devil.
These instruments are not from Satan.
Yeah, that's a lot of the church, like the Satanic Church and stuff like that. Like, are you on the level? Was a old Illuminati or a Freemason term,
Right.
because it literally means like, do you have the knowledge?
Uh-huh.
Like, so it's like, are you on my level? Are
Yeah.
you on the square, which is another Illuminati term?
Right. Right.
But then it gets associated with satanic worship because
Interesting.
why? I don't know.
Okay. We'll have to all Google that later.
Yeah,
The-
Google on the level.
the
and
ties
on the square.
between Freemasons, Illuminati, and Satanists.
Satan.
So you were raised with these two influences, Pentecostal, Baptist.
Yes, a lot of shame.
Okay. Gotcha.
Especially, I feel like any small town, you're going to find a lot of sexual repression and stuff like that.
Sure. Especially religious small towns, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And everyone in my, like, I didn't realize that we had, until I was 25 back in Ohio, and I started to try to do a little documentary about my town, just for, because I
Yeah,
was,
kicks and
someone,
giggles.
Yeah, and I went to like board meetings and shit, like, or town meetings. We're technically a village, by the way.
Oh, wow.
That's how small
Those
we are.
still exist?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're under 5,000, you're a village.
Okay. So
And
my
we were
grandpa
2,500.
is in a village.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's an incorporated village, the village of New Lebanon, by the way.
So you did have a board.
Yeah, and I found out a lot of them were all like, we have 13 churches in a 3 mile by 2 mile.
All of different faiths.
A different, yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of German Baptist.
Okay.
But you know what German Baptist is?
No.
I call them lazy Amish.
Okay.
They look
Interesting.
like Amish people. They have to dress like basically exactly like Amish people, beard, the whole deal. But they're allowed to drive minivans.
Oh, okay. But that's it.
Well,
No other cars, but just cars.
And
in
now
general.
they're allowed
they
to
can
have
use
flip
technology.
phones. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
to an extent.
Sure.
They're really weird. I
Interesting.
don't like. I don't know how they find their exceptions, but they're. I don't know. Like, because I saw one using a flip
Okay.
phone once, then he handed it back to a minister who then folded it and put it in a bag. 'Cause
Wow.
the devil.
Yeah, to keep it away from him. You mean. Like
yeah.
he wasn't holding his phone.
Yeah, and it's like they also like. They all do have a very good sense of family and community and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Sure.
They still do barn raisings and shit like that. And
Okay.
they actually are all really good craftsmen and carpenters and stuff.
Yeah.
They kind of do stuff that seems like biblically to keep them closer to Jesus. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they do a lot of stuff like that, like
Right.
making their own clothes, making their own houses.
Uh-huh.
So that seems like what they're doing, but also I don't understand how they
Justify the technology
yeah
that they use.
because they look exactly like Amish people. I
Sure.
didn't understand.
Why not just go the whole way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all derived from Quakers and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
They're all nice people, but they just look dumb as shit.
Okay, so what you're no longer do you
No.
consider yourself Baptist or Pentecostal now?
No, not at all.
Not at
no.
all. So where would you put your faith now?
I guess I call myself a pantheist.
Okay.
Richard Dawkins defined pantheism as sexed up atheism,
All right.
which is like I am open to more than just science But that doesn't mean I believe in crystals, guys. Okay, I just want to make that very clear. If you believe in magic
This
crystals,
is so shocking.
yeah, that I don't believe in magic crystals.
Yeah, of course.
No, that's a thing.
Because if not God, why not crystals? You know?
Someone's got a joke here. It comes to
Clearly
fourth
the
wall. I
state.
can't remember who it is. I just love the bit. It's the more conservative someone is raised, the more likely they are to be walking around L.A. with a pocket full of crystals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's also very true. It's like, it's hard for humans, I think, in general, not to have faith in something.
Right.
Especially, like, I feel like we all have
Sure.
inherent emptiness inside us, and we need to fill it with something.
These are words of inspiration.
I know. I come from a
Travis
place
Clyburn.
of sadness.
You mentioned shame earlier.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I do
Yeah.
feel like everybody has emptiness in them. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's where religion comes in to help fill that emptiness, knowing that
Mhm.
there's something more than just us being bacteria on a rock.
Sure. Connection to something big.
Yeah.
Something bigger.
That we're not just like an alien science experiment gone
Okay.
horribly wrong, you know? Like,
Yeah.
there's always
Like
the possibility.
Scientologists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's something.
Yeah. So you don't believe in the soul? Do you
I don't
believe in an
souls. Let me
eternity?
turn this down. I apologize.
You're
I
good.
do not
How
believe in
disrespectful
any
of
of
you.
that. I don't believe in souls mainly. Well, I think I get my justification for not believing in souls because I've never seen one. Like, which I realize
Okay.
is a shitty way
Would
to
you
believe
count a
things.
picture if someone had a
No,
picture
I
of
don't
a
trust
soul?
pictures anymore.
Are you
ever.
like a flat earther? No.
No. I've seen pictures of the whole Earth. I'm not that deep.
All right.
Because plus they have the
Doctored photos, no doubt. Right?
yeah. Do you believe in flat Earth?
No.
Are we gonna have this debate? This went awry.
No, I love it. Okay, so you don't believe in souls
No, I think.
Okay.
I think.
or spirits, ghosts? None of that.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not that.
No.
Okay.
Also, because it's everybody who's ever had a ghost experience be like, I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like,
Yeah.
you mean your eyelash? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Sure.
And ghosts only come
A
out
glare.
at night
Right.
when your eyes work the least good.
That's the only time you can see them is when light reflects off of them in weird ways.
None of
Right?
that's
When it's
true.
misty.
And the moment I see a daytime ghost, I'll call you and be like, I was wrong.
It's too bright. They're transparent. You know?
My shower door's transparent. I can still see it. I don't walk through it.
That means it's dirty and you need to clean it.
More translucent at this point.
All right. So eternity, afterlife, where are you on that?
No, I don't think
No.
so. I think we just go.
It's just over.
Yeah, which that brings me more solace than an afterlife.
Interesting.
personally.
Why is that?
Because I don't have to do anything.
Because you won't be
anymore.
judged?
No, not even that. I
Yeah?
don't worry about judgment. I think because I got a friend who's a comedian pastor in Ohio, and he told me once he feels like I live my life more Christian than Christians sometimes because it's like I just like doing nice things for people. It's
Sure.
like, and also it's like I have no ill will in my heart ever.
Right.
Because I don't hold on to grudges. I don't do any of that stuff. So really, I do live my life by Christian values without believing in any of that. And if there is an afterlife and God is real, if He judges me just because I didn't believe this 2,000-year-old book, then I'd be like, well, dude, I did all the other stuff.
Even like without a reason.
Yeah,
Makes
with
you
no
better.
reason. I don't think that I'm going to get any reward for this. I just like the feeling of doing nice things for it. It's why I like doing comedy.
Yeah.
Like I go to a room and I like full of strangers. Like that was another reason why the El Paso trip was so gratifying. It's
Right.
like all these people came up to us and said, "Man, you made our month, man. We thank you so much."
Yeah.
Like, they were just so stoked.
Yeah.
And we made them
So
so happy,
grateful.
and they all went home and banged. And if I can make people bang, I'm doing the right thing.
Oh
God
my gosh.
damn these headphones.
How does this keep happening?
These headphones just suck. Sorry.
That's so fun. All right. Interesting.
So yeah, it's like I'm not worried about any sort of judgment
Yeah.
because it's the harshest way to say this, I suppose. If I go to hell just because I didn't believe in anything, yet I still did all these good things, then God is a dick. That's right. And I don't believe a
Interesting.
divine creator would be
Yeah.
that much of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think.
And also,
so either.
like sometimes I feel like most of the things in religion, like when it comes to prayer or anything like that, or just people control, like especially like in the Muslim religion, where they have to just stop what they're doing no matter what. And
Sure.
start
And
praying
pray.
to Mecca.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that is exactly the same techniques they use in the military to get people to conform and to be controlled. And it's that region in particular has been out of fucking control for a long
So
time.
are they doing a good job or not a good job?
No. They're not doing a good job. I mean, it makes some people's life better. It makes some people's life easier. There's a routine. A lot of humans need routine, and they need regimented stuff.
Structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not one of those atheists that think the world would be better without religion. I think Patton Oswalt made the best point. He said for the longest time, the biggest, strongest dude was in charge.
Right.
Like he woke up every morning and clubbed someone to death and had, what did he say? He had murder and rape for breakfast. Like whatever he wanted. Just bah, bah. And
right.
It took just
and you think religion stopped that?
For sure.
Interesting.
Because it was the intellectuals were able to use language that big dumb people probably didn't understand to control them by saying like it's just like any time like
guilt and shame.
Yes, and like
okay.
Game of Thrones has one of my favorite quotes: "A king is not a king unless the people believe he's king." So in other words, like you just have this guy who says, "God gave me the power
to
rule you," and then everyone's like, "What? Okay." And then they listen. That's not true, obviously. Like no, I don't think any king ever spoke to any higher power ever.
Maybe not.
More than likely, it was just some guy who was probably smarter than everyone else. And was like, why is everyone digging in shit? I don't want to dig in shit.
How can I get out of this?
Yes, and then they just said, "I am a troubadour."
You have such a non-cynical view of.
I think it's important. I mean, honesty. And then are you a Game of Thrones fan?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there was this guy called the Grant Sparrow in Game of Thrones who was very akin to like your Martin Luthers. Okay. These guys who basically wanted to put religion back in the hands of the people, control back in the hands of the people.
Sure.
And like that's because for the longest time, before he translated all these copies into German, the Bible I believe was early Greek, Latin stuff.
Latin, Greek.
No idea what the fuck it said. Everyone was only the priest could read it. It was all the religion was in the higher powers of the bishops and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then he gave it to the people, which in turn did make a bunch of different sects that fought for a very long time. But,
somewhat. There were a lot of people that learned Latin and Greek. And once the Gutenberg press was made,
yes,
a lot of people could access the Bible themselves.
But, I think Martin Luther's grand thing was, just give it to common people.
But, right. I mean, he had some issues with the Catholic Church, so...
Yes. He's got Martin Luther's got a lot of really cool stories where he took no shit.
Right.
I thought it was a very interesting guy because it's like he seemed to be full of so much faith, but also like that's dumb. Like they would just do stuff. He wanted
honest questions.
Yes.
Right.
Which is why I respect that.
So I take it you believe in prophets. I'm just kidding. I don't. Based on your last
I think there's
rant.
If you look at science, if it wasn't for maybe 12 people in the history of existence, we would all be throwing shit at one another.
I mean, at least the 12 that we know of.
That's
right?
very
But
true.
it would have been other people.
Yeah, hopefully.
It's not like Galileo just like...
Oh, Galileo also found a farmer who invented the telescope and stole it from him and made it better.
Well,
this
is precisely my point.
Yeah, exactly.
We know about Galileo.
It really, honestly, history is written by the rich is what I always used to say because it's very true.
It's written by the people who
Galileo
won.
had cash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and people who win the wars, too.
Yeah.
Like, I do sometimes look back at wars and wonder which side was actually right. Especially the ones that we won.
Especially the Civil War for you, right? That's the one you worry about the most.
I'm from Ohio. I'm from a Union state. When they tear down Civil War monuments, I get erect.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Interesting. So no afterlife, and that helps you not hold grudges, you think?
Yeah, well, and also...
You don't ever just feel like an idiot because you're a nice person for no reason?
No.
You just like cut in line at Disneyland and be like, hey, we're all going to die. Like, leave me alone.
Sometimes.
Uh-huh.
But not really. I don't know. Because I think I just have a deep well of empathy.
Yeah. I admire that. I admire that a lot.
Like if I see somebody in pain, like I feel physical pain because
Right.
I don't know why that is. I was just born with this deep well of empathy.
Right.
Whatever the opposite of a fucking psychopath is, I guess you could say.
Normal human being.
Well,
an empath.
Yeah, I hate the word empath too because these crystal-loving pieces of shit have stolen it.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I think Star Trek stole it, right?
Oh, did they? That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because of whatever her name was, the empath. Yeah, well, those were Vulcans.
Feelings.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just did a Vulcan mind meld on you.
Yeah, that's different.
You had tuna today.
Right. I didn't, but was close.
Damn it! I'm really bad at this, guys.
You're not a Vulcan, clearly.
No, I don't have the eyebrows for it.
Yeah. So no desire. Like, what drove you away from Baptist Pentecostal?
Honestly, their view...
Did you ever pick between the two? Did you ever like, hey,
No,
I just want to like
I think I
vote?
mainly I picked Baptist because like they at least seemed a little more chill.
Okay.
And then honestly, the thing that drove me away, because I was probably I called myself an atheist when I was probably like 14, 15.
Yeah.
But I got kind of militant when I was 16.
Interesting.
Because I mean, I come from a town where everyone like is super Christian. Every single person.
Right.
Me and like 3 of my friends were not religious.
Yeah.
And like we were ostracized. I mean,
Of course
like
you were.
yeah,
Right,
like people
right.
thought we were crazy. People
Sure.
thought like
I mean, you are, but not for that.
yeah. I mean, I'm mentally ill
yeah,
for
yeah.
a lot of other
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah.
Some that I should probably get checked out, but
Fascinating.
yeah, they literally thought we were
Like
evil.
something was wrong with you.
Yeah, they thought we were evil. I remember
Yeah.
trying to have a conversation quietly about something scientific or just general
Sure.
things that
Evolution.
would be considered blasphemous. And like someone coming up to our table as I'm 16 years old, a full-grown man, and be like, "You all shut your mouth!
No.
Like you're speaking devil words, like crazy
Interesting.
stuff." Like just and the disconnect
Interesting.
for me came when I kind of dawned on me just being young and
Yeah.
an intellectual or trying to be intellectual because
Sure.
you're that young,
Figuring out the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I felt like me and a couple of my other friends were the only people that talked about the world ever and didn't just accept their place in existence. Like,
Uh-huh.
like I feel like most people in my town are just like, well, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that phrase.
Yeah.
The way it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing is the way it is.
Yeah. Without a reason.
Yeah. And I'm like, what is
Right.
the reason for it being the way it is? Well, that's just the way it is. I heard that constantly.
Interesting.
And it upset me so much. And I got real militant until I graduated high school, honestly, because it's just, I was more or less just fighting with
Your neighbors.
Yes,
Yeah.
because because they just had arbitrary. I get pissed off more about arbitrary rules than anything else.
Okay.
I remember my dad getting really mad at me for dyeing my hair black when I was in a band.
And you were like, why?
Yeah, and
he
like
was
I mean,
it's
furious.
Just, it's just a bad color.
Yeah,
for
like
you.
who cares? Like, but it was
Yeah.
so weird, and it dawned
Yeah.
on me like a lot of it is tribal acceptance. Like
Okay.
he was afraid.
Yeah.
Now that I look back on it, like
he'd
he was
be judged because of what you'd done.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I raised him. I must be raising him wrong. It's a failure on my part. And then I realized
Interesting.
like that whole thing is so tribal.
I mean, he could have been worried that you were going to be shunned.
probably
You, right?
And I'm
Not
sure he
just him,
was. Yeah,
but both probably.
for sure, both.
Yeah.
Knowing my dad, it was more he's worried about himself. but
Okay. Your dad seems like a really nice guy. I've never met him.
he's not that bad anymore.
yeah,
he
yeah.
was a giant cock for a long time.
Then he got the reduction surgery. Didn't die.
I need it too. My back hurts all the time.
That
from
story
this.
about the
God,
guy that
what?
died during his reduction surgery is so made up.
Oh, for
Right?
sure.
I mean, the
right?
dude was rich. He just paid a bunch of people
Yeah.
to report that. That's what
Yes.
happened.
Yeah, and plus, why would you ever get a penis reduction?
I mean, I needed to 2 years ago, but
No, I don't
Complaints?
think any man.
that's why complaints.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit in anything. It's the size of a honey baked
Oh
ham.
my gosh. So, all right. So, sort of this overall ignorance of the world.
Yeah,
this,
I
this
felt
blindness, this willful blindness.
yes, and I felt I don't for whatever reason I was born with some wandering spirit I don't understand.
Yeah.
Still, because
Yeah.
it's like
Just
I'm
like
never
Joseph
satisfied.
Smith, you need
I need to want. I see. You know what? I wish I knew
You need to
more
wander
about
out in the
Joseph
woods.
Smith.
and pray and see.
Is that so? What did he do?
Yeah, so his story is somewhat similar in that he grew up in New York, so not Ohio,
Yeah.
but
So, like
religious.
the city, right?
Palmyra, sort of a smaller town,
Okay.
but during a
country-esque.
religious revival in that
Yeah.
area, and what he had read in the Bible did not match what he was hearing from ministers and pastors in the area. So he ends up
Right,
praying.
which makes a lot of fucking sense because most of your pastors,
Sure.
again, like I was saying to him before the podcast, my mom wasn't allowed to go to school dances because pizza is for
Right.
the devil, and also like arbitrary rules like you can't say fuck or shit or something.
Sure.
And I'm like, where does it say that in the Bible? And they're like, and then just people just get upset. It's like, no, you're
because
just
it does. That's the way it is.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's okay. So
Yeah.
that's basically Joseph Smith was not appreciating the
He didn't agree. Didn't agree.
Right.
and ended up praying after reading James 1:5, where there's a scripture that says, you can, if you lack wisdom, you can ask God. And
Okay.
so
So that's what he did,
thinks about
essentially.
this for a while, and then he ends up one day going out into the woods near his house and praying, and seeing what we call the first vision, where he sees Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ who tell him.
Now, how do you couple with a lot of the facts of Joseph Smith, like him being
So interesting.
a con artist and stuff for a very long time?
Sure.
Like, and also,
I
14
mean, I wouldn't
years old.
qualify him as a con artist, but he did
Fair.
go. He did go to court for.
And also, wasn't
the
he
charge
14
was
when he
con.
had his first vision?
Yeah, he was
That
around
seems
there,
insane.
14, 15. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I think with any religion,
yeah.
the origins of it, and in all fairness, right, for my religion, we don't count the origin as Joseph Smith. We really count the origin as Jesus Christ, the New
Right,
Testament.
because it's a derivative of Christianity.
Which is a carryover from the Old Testament, very
Right.
draconian Mosaic law
Right.
that's then fulfilled in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So we believe that gospel, right, was lost from the earth, and that it was restored through Joseph Smith. So that's where Joseph Smith fits in for us.
And where, like, let me see here. Like, what are some of the biggest differences between, like, say, a Baptist and Mormon religion, like, or the Book of Mormon? Like, what are some, like, because I know you guys have, you guys seem to have some incredible family values.
We do. And I don't know enough about the Baptist faith to comment on the big differences.
Yeah.
But we believe in faith and works.
Yeah.
But
faith and works, what's that mean?
So we believe, there's a huge discussion about, are you saved by what you do or just by the love and grace of God?
Right. Oh, see, I like that discussion. So do you believe that it's more what you do?
No. We think, we think it's a mix, right? There's certain things that we're asked to do, commanded to do by God, but that finally we're imperfect and we have to be saved by grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, at least that makes, because my whole thing was, that's what the biggest problem I had with Baptist religions and Pentecostal. It's like, you could spend 99 years raping and murdering, but if that
and
last
then just accept
year,
Jesus. Yeah.
And, like, it just seemed unfair, because especially, like, I try to...
you get to rape and go to heaven?
Yeah.
That's so unfair.
And also, like, the idea of an afterlife where someone who has hurt you terribly, like maybe if you were a kid and you were molested, like the
and
poor kids that were allegedly molested by Michael Jackson, like is Michael Jackson
going with
chilling?
allegedly? No, I'm just kidding.
He definitely did that he did that shit for sure.
I was like, you're gonna get all
I
politically
if I was
correct
on
now?
this podcast holding your hand and stroking it, no one would assume we weren't fucking.
They would be very confused.
Yeah, they would be like
very confused.
Like, everyone would be like, we're banging for sure. Is what people would think.
Yeah.
So obviously he was fucking those kids.
mean,
but like those,
I don't know why
those
people are
guys, those kids
surprised.
die, and then if they went to heaven, like would he just be there? They're like,
Hey,
yeah,
we had some good times.
I know, it's like just because
Right.
I feel like that's.
I mean, maybe if he repented.
I don't like that. That bugs the piss out of me. Because I do feel like, as much as I don't hold grudges, there are.
But you have a sense of justice, is what you're saying.
I do.
There should be some sort of
especially when it comes to like sex
or-
crimes and stuff like that. That stuff bugs me on a deep level. I think it's because like I explained this to my girlfriend who
because you've been so tempted so many times.
No,
You just haven't done it because.
Well, no. Also, like I looked at it like this because I'm like 6'2", 270. Like I could
overpower.
I could just take you right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then someone who does that is so evil to me.
Right.
Because it's like you have like instead I would much rather if I saw something happening to you, fight the person hurting you.
Sure.
And that would make me feel better about the gift I've been given of strength.
Of size. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
sure.
It would, and the fact that people would ever use that to harm means that they don't have enough control over their own self. Like that.
Right.
So it's like the idea that they would lose control like that, because it's like I couldn't even again, maybe it's my deep well of empathy.
Yeah.
And also like I think it's
agree.
being a people pleaser.
Sure.
And being a comic, because it's just like I don't understand how you could do that to someone who's going nah, like freaking out like that. That hurts my feelings.
Control is
thinking
just so
about
amazing, though.
Dude. It's the look in the eyes.
I mean,
it's like, oh no.
I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like
totally.
So it bugs me to think that someone could just go, I accept Jesus, bye.
Yeah.
And then just
Yeah.
be dead.
No, that bothers me too.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you cope with that, like that particular element of it, or justify it, I suppose?
For my religion, there's heaven is big, but there are also different areas of heaven. So we call them
like circles of
degrees
hell
of
from
right.
Do you believe in Dante's Inferno? Do you think that hell's like that?
I don't know if hell's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably just like
that's a
one
better
place.
question, I suppose. I didn't know if Mormons believed in hell or not.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We believe in sort of two hells. One is like a temporary spot
Almost
where we
like a
go,
purgatory?
yeah, like until Judgment Day.
Okay.
And
So
then
what is your guys' theory? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So our theory is right after you die, you hang out in the spirit world as a spirit,
Yeah.
and you're eventually resurrected,
Okay.
and then you're judged for all of your bad or good acts. Right.
Okay. So
Just
you
based
go
on your life.
before God Himself.
Yeah.
His
God,
self?
Jesus. Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
What
Yeah.
how do you imagine they're hanging out?
Like a father and son that get along, probably.
What's that like?
I mean, it's pretty good. You know, they're probably watching Netflix and just talking about. I don't know how they. I mean, you know, we believe Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother are creating people. All
You
the
believe in a
times.
Heavenly Mother?
Yeah, spirit children. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, we don't talk about her at all. But
Well, because
yes.
you know most of the Dead Sea Scrolls talk about characters like Lilith,
Sure.
you know, and all these other goddesses or
Right.
goddess, I should say, who
Right.
worked with God.
Yeah, and there are lots of different versions of.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I thought the Dead Sea Scrolls were amazing, and also gaining that knowledge when I was like 14, thanks to the internet, I suppose.
Right.
And just looking into it, I'm like, well, why are these people telling me it's this version?
Yeah.
Because it's like I feel like they're, and also when I was talking about the Bible with a friend of mine who was raised homeschooled and considers himself born again Christian, like. It bothered me that he's like, no, you have to read the King James version. I was like,
Right.
Why?
It's the most appropriately translated.
Yeah, and also it's.
Yeah.
He was also a biblical numerologist too, which I think is the dumbest thing you could ever be. Because
What is that? He only studied the Book of Numbers?
No.
What does that even mean?
Biblical numerologist is someone who takes the King James version of the Bible.
Yeah, and counts how many
And-
times
and,
certain
like,
words appear?
Yes, stuff
Okay.
like that, and then makes connections. Like if you take Matthew 12 verse 3, it turns out to be 9/11. I'm like, I'm like, you also know it wasn't written in English first.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
totally
sure.
numerology to me.
I mean, English is God's language, though, right? We can all agree.
Yeah.
That
and the white man's superior. That's all it means.
just bringing it full
What is it?
circle.
No.
Fascinating.
Clarify this one thing for me, 'cause
Okay.
I think I don't understand it. Well, like, did what's the whole thing about the natives were cursed and their skin was turned dark? Is that a Mormon thing?
This is such a tough question. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Because
and I don't want to be like a Mormon apologist because you can
And you
find
don't
like,
have to, 'cause
weird
it-
explanations about it.
Well, and
the
it's
fact of the
also-
matter is
yeah.
there's a verse, there are a couple verses in the Book of Mormon
yeah,
that talk about people being cursed with a darker skin
right.
because of, I mean, so the story of the Book of Mormon is the
Yeah.
story of Nephi and his father Lehi
Yeah,
and their
Nephi,
escape
Lehi.
from Jerusalem. So it's
Okay.
about Lehi, Sariah, their husband, wife, and their kids.
Yeah.
Right? One of whom is Nephi, and then he has a couple siblings, but the two like other really famous ones are
Yeah.
Laman and Lemuel, who were bad.
Okay.
And
were they the ones?
they're
who were
the
cursed?
ones. Their children end up being cursed because they refuse, like Laman and Lemuel and all their posterity,
Do you
for
think
a
it was more of
portion
a
of
way
the book.
for Joseph Smith to explain natives without
I honestly have
any
no
understanding?
idea.
Yeah,
I don't
mean
know.
that's fair.
And that's a part of the Book of Mormon that I personally struggle with.
Yeah, because it's I have trouble
yeah.
shitting on or I try not to shit on many religions anymore. I'm just pretty over it because it's
Yeah.
like whatever you need. But I have a lot of trouble shitting on the Mormon religion because
It's right.
you guys. Because Islam,
100%
Islam is the
correct.
true religion. No.
Yeah, right.
Because you guys seem great.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I've never met a dickhead Mormon.
Oh, you haven't met very many.
I know,
No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
but like,
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
all seem
We all
pretty
try to be, I think,
dope.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, every religion has people that are
Correct.
Like,
I'm sure there's
shouldn't be
Mormon
poster
extremists.
people for
I'm
it.
sure. There's extremists of every. You could be a dick and then grab onto any religion and make it. Like there's Buddhist extremists for Christ's
Yeah,
sakes.
I mean, of course.
The religion of peace.
You just go militant with it, and it's no longer palatable.
But like most of you guys, like I love that you guys have such a sense of community and family. Like, I know you're a married guy with 3 kids.
Right.
See, I love that because I feel like most religions are just more about control than it is love or family.
Sure.
So I don't.
Sure.
I seldom shit on the Mormon religion because I think it's actually at least the most helpful mentally.
Right, I appreciate that.
And you all seem fun. And I'm not just saying that because you're right here.
You're going to talk so much crap once I leave.
No, really, I don't.
No, I appreciate
There's
that.
obviously elements of any religion that I find ridiculous.
Right.
Because, again, like I just have trouble with arbitrary rules. I think that comes from having a dad who's a bit of a retard growing up.
It's just like, I don't want to explain it to you.
Yeah, and again, that phrase, it pisses me off so much. Really the only phrase I've held on to hatred for, which is that's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, let me answer the question then that you asked me.
Please.
It's just the way that it is.
God damn it. Fuck you, Joseph Smith.
I think, I don't know. There's some practical reasons, right? Like, there are portions in the Book of Mormon that describe wars later in the book where the good guys fighting the bad guys end up basically putting war paint on themselves.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, well, maybe that's what this was talking about.
Interesting, okay.
But, my church went through a really bad portion of history where blacks didn't hold the priesthood. And that verse and those reasons were used to prevent those of African descent from holding the priesthood.
Wow.
Like wrongfully so, right? And so my faith has recently, the leadership has come out with a bunch of essays that basically say, look, we actually don't know why the leaders of the church in the past prevented African descents.
Because there are
those
now
people.
Black Mormons.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. And there's no restriction other than women who can like hold the priesthood. And that might be the next question, right? Is that a problem, or is that not? Like, is there some divine reason?
I do think I always find super religious women interesting because I feel like most religion does favor men, obviously, because it was written by them.
Yeah, typically.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Jesus and God seem to be dudes.
Sure.
So when I see overtly religious women, like women even wanting to be priests or pastors, I'm like, but why?
To take control.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
But
Take
I don't
control
know.
back, and I respect that
true.
too. But at
true.
the same time, like it does say that you were made from my rib.
Yeah. Terrible.
And whittled
into a new being. Unbelievable. Travis, this has been a pleasure.
Dude, thanks for having me as your first guest, man.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. So we'll be doing a lot of these. I'm going to bring in comics, much like Travis, people you've never heard of.
And I'll probably still be on talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Camera.
I hope so. And we'll come here to the fourth wall, and we'll talk comedy, we'll talk religion, we'll talk God, or lack of, right?
Word.
Depending on whatever this other person thinks, correctly or incorrectly. And who's to say?
I know.
But I
I'll
appreciate
find out
it.
eventually.
Yeah.
And I'll, if there is a heaven,
I'll have the last laugh.
I'll apologize and we'll high five. But again, if your God doesn't
I don't
let
feel
me
offended.
in, I'm so nice.
I think there's a spot for you.
Thanks.
There's
buddy.
a spot for you up there, for sure.
I'm cuddly. You
Yeah.
can't send me to hell. That's
We'll save you a seat.
thing.
We'll save you a seat. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in the future.